Good morning, folks. This is Waterborne, and I'm headed out to meet up with about 20 other arcade collectors for a major game run today. We're headed up to a little town called Barrington, New Hampshire, just outside of Portsmouth, about an hour north of the Boston area. And like I said, I'm going to be meeting up with about 20 of my fellow New England Arcade Collector Forum members, also known as NEACF. And we are going to meet up with a gentleman named Jerry, who has a large stash of arcade cabs that he's been sitting on for quite a while. And so we've brokered a bulk deal with him, and we're going to go up today and pick up the games. So I just left the house. It's a little bit after 7:30 on this fall back Sunday. It's a beautiful day. We did have to switch our clocks back yesterday or last night, so I'm a little bit rough around the edges because I lost an hour of sleep on top of everything else. But I'm trying not to wreck here as I talk to you guys. So anyway, meeting up with Jerry to pick up these cabs, and I found out about this stash basically by a fluke. So I was up in the area purchasing a Centipede cab for my fiance for Valentine's Day, because that's her favorite game, from one of my fellow NEACF members, Starfighter. And as I was driving back from Starfighter's house, I passed a antique store that had a clean-out truck outside the store. So they had a whole bunch of huge trailer and a whole bunch of stuff just thrown out on the grass there. And anytime I see something like that, particularly in upper New England, like New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, I always stop because you never know what you're going to find. So I stopped and checked it out, and as I'm looking around, the guy who was running the thing saw my car, and he said, "Is that your arcade cab in the back of the car?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you collect them?" And I told him about NEACF, my personal collection, and the fact that we collected these and restored them. And he's like, "There's a gentleman just down the road here about a mile who has a ton of those cabs. He's been trying to sell them to me forever, but I don't know what to do with them. Maybe you should check them out." And I'm like, "Definitely." So he didn't know the guy's name, didn't have a phone number for him, but he told me where his place of business was. So on a lark, I drove down about a mile up the street, found the place of business, and it was a big multi-bay warehouse. And each of the bays had, it's like a mechanic's bay, so each of the bays had little windows in them. So I walk up to the first bay, and I see a bunch of equipment, but nothing that's arcade related. Walk up to the second bay, and there are 2 rows of arcade cabs. Walk up to the third bay. There's a cockpit afterburner, which is a sit-down afterburner game. It's the fighter pilot game where the whole machine actually moves for you, and a whole bunch of other games. So looked around and saw some other games in some of the other windows. There's nobody around, so I went to the front door to see if I could either leave a message or find a number, and sure enough, there was a phone number on the door. So I called the phone number, expecting to leave a message and come back at a later date, and lo and behold, the owner picks up the phone. So I introduced myself and explained to him what NEACF is, and that we're all a bunch of crazy guys who collect arcade cabinets. And so the guy says, I live about a mile away, and I'll be there in 10 minutes if you want to hold on. I'm like, absolutely. So I called Starfighter back, since I wouldn't have known about the games without him. And I said, "You got to come check this out with me, bud." And so Starfighter came up. Jerry, the gentleman who owned all the games in the business, came up, and lo and behold, he lets us in there, and he's got some very nice games. So I started talking to him, and I asked him when he was looking forward to getting all the games, and told him that we could do a bulk deal where we could buy all the games, get them all off his hands, no Craigslist worries, no eBay, none of that crap. Take care of the whole lot for him. And Jerry quoted a price that was a little bit more than the going rate for games in this depressed market with the economy and whatnot. So I told Jerry, I'd take it back to the group, and I'd see what we could, what number we could come up with. And so I did that. I went back to the group, and we came up with a number, and it was, considerably lower than what Jerry wanted. So he was like, "Well, that's not really, I got more into these games." And he probably bought them in the height of the game renaissance, so, he probably paid a pretty penny for them. And I said, "Well, give us a call, Jerry, if you change your mind." So 2 days later, lo and behold, I get an email. He's like, "Hey, you know what? I decided I got to get these out of here. I'll take your deal." And that was a couple weeks ago. And so we scheduled this run today, and we're headed out. So I'll be making updates throughout today, but I'm on the highway getting ready to head out, and I'm looking forward to this. This is probably the biggest run with regards to the numbers of guys that we've had so far since I started hanging out with the NEACF guys. And I guess I've been around with this crew for about 3 years. So looking forward to it. So once again, this is Waterborne on the road looking for arcade machines. Stay tuned for pictures. Check out my Twitter at Waterborne_202p. That's Waterborne_202p. I'll be posting photos throughout the day, and of course you won't get that notice until after we're all said and done. But if you are a Twitter follower of mine, you're going to see a lot of cool photos today, and I'll continue taking video. So signing off for now, but I'll talk to you guys real soon, and enjoy this beautiful Sunday early spring day. It's just a beautiful day today. No clouds in the sky, sun is shining, and I think it's going to be up near 55 degrees here in New England today. So it's March 11th for those of you keeping track. All right, until later, guys. Bye.